Hey there, it's Stephanie Shea, Chief Astrologer for janspiller.com with your monthly horoscope. This one's for you, Leo, for September 2021. And this month is going to be really strong for you to set some financial goals. Now, if you have important business dealings or purchases, try to schedule them during the first week of the month. As September progresses, the energy is going to slow, and you'll be supported to manage the resources and agreements you currently have. So you can move forward this month if you jump on it early. The rest of the month is going to be awesome for wrapping up things in progress. I'll tell you more about that when I talk about our upcoming Mercury Retrograde cycle. But first, let's look at this month's new moon. It's at 14 degrees of Virgo, and it's on September the 6th. This really highlights your finances and material resources. You can use this new moon to set intentions related to earning or saving more money, finding jobs, and other income generating activities. Now, you might even set intentions around being paid what you're worth. This new moon has a lot to do with your value and self-worth. And you might also want to consider setting an intention that has to do with reviewing your expenses and budget to be a better steward of your resources. Now, the reason this new moon is so important is because it's the day before we enter the shadow of this month's Mercury retrograde cycle. So there's still a lot of initiating energy available on September 6th. On September 7th, we enter the shadow phase of this cycle, and it's signaling the beginning of things slowing down. You can still kind of move forward. I see the shadow phase often as like a yellow light. And we actually hit the retrograde. It's more of a red light. Those official retrograde dates are September 27th through October 18th. So that's when it's really going to slow down. And it won't be great timing after that September 27th date, especially to make new agreements or commitments to others, especially where money is involved. So if you must take a new job during this time, try to leave some room to negotiate the terms of your employment in November. Once we're free from the influence of this Mercury retrograde, you could, just see if you're able to have a trial period. A lot of jobs do reevaluate. Maybe you'll qualify to actually be paid more after the trial period, something along these lines, or maybe even just take something temporary and see if it is something you actually want to commit to in a long-term situation. So once we enter that official retrograde cycle, it's better to work with any resources you already have. It's not the best time for a large purchase. As I mentioned, if you have to buy something new, and sometimes that happens during Mercury retrograde, you can always try to get an especially good warranty. That can come in really handy. Now, we've got Venus entering the sign of Scorpio on September the 10th, and Venus will remain in this sign until October the 6th. During these days, you could feel like staying cozier, maybe closer to home during these days. It's a really nice time to make your living space more of a sanctuary where you can restore your energy. Consider some special rituals that will help you feel more at peace in your home life and dealings with family members. When Venus is in Scorpio, it's a good time to consider what needs to be released. And for Leo people, sometimes during this cycle, it might be, what do you need to release regarding your mindset about relationship with family member, or actually what physical items in your house need to be released in order to create room for something that will be more of use to you in your home. Now, Mars is going to finish its journey through Virgo on September the 13th and move into the harmonious sign of Libra on the 14th. You can use the first few weeks of the month to deal with finances or business. As I mentioned, after the 14th, you're going to be supported to work on important communications, especially if you're closing the loop or renegotiating a current agreement. Mars in Libra is actually a very powerful position for that. Going back and saying, well, this is what we had initially agreed. Here's the circumstances that have changed. This is what I now think would be fair. You could have a lot of success with these types of conversations. Now, this month's full moon is going to be September 20th, and it's at 28 degrees of Pisces. This is going to shine the light on some hidden information. This could come in many forms. You might have a realization or facts might be revealed that help you to assess an important relationship. Likely, whatever you learn around this full moon is just going to validate a gut feeling that you've already had, and you can feel like, okay, I wasn't making that up. This is real. I just had validation from someone else who told me they had a similar experience or something like this. And so this full moon carries themes of compassion, forgiveness, and letting go. I think that's always good to know, even if you end up having to let go of a friendship or a relationship. Doing it with compassion and forgiveness can help it to feel cleaner. So that's not guaranteed that that would happen. That's just one example. You might actually just be forgiving a situation from the past that's over and done with that you just needed to resolve in your heart. Now, September 22nd, the sun is going to move into Libra, and this date marks the fall equinox in the northern hemisphere and the spring equinox in the southern hemisphere. But all over the world, the equinox that's coming up on the 22nd has to do with Libra season. Libra is starting on that date, and for Leo, Sun, and Rising people, this could usher in a time when your energy is spent focusing on your connections, maybe especially people who are your neighbors, live right in your community. It's a great time to reach out to anyone living near you and help to network, maybe help each other out with resource, go on message boards, check in on your neighbors, see how they're doing. That's kind of the spirit of Libra, rebalancing, feeling a sense of reconnection. So I hope you can make the most of September's astrology. Be safe and be well, and I will see you here next time with your horoscope.